This video will address some of the issues running into using the equation editor with Equatio. So I'm going to start by opening up the Equatio extension. I'm going to use the equation editor to start, and then I'm going to start typing an expression. So I'm going to start with one that has some fractions. So 1/2 plus 3/4. So right now, when I hit Shift Enter, it's going to give me a new line. So I'm going to go ahead and do the next step in this expression. So I'm going to put an equal sign here. So I have 2/4 plus 3/4. When I hit Shift Enter now, nothing happens. So when you have multiple lines, in the second, third, fourth line, if your cursor is still in the denominator, it's not going to work. So if I move to the middle at the very end of the row and I hit Shift Enter, it works now. So when you're directing students, it's probably a very good practice to make sure that your cursor is always at the very end of the row before you hit the Shift Enter button. So the next thing I'm going to do here is equals 5/4. And then I moved my cursor out. And then what some students do, they hit it a second time, and then it moves over here. So when it moves over so that it's no longer at the end of the row and I do Shift Enter, this occurs, which then students are wondering, well, what did I do? An easy way to undo that is just to hit backspace and then keep going back with the arrow down to the very, very end of the row. So I'm just going to go ahead and insert this math, and then we're going to look at an example that has a square root sign. So I'm in here, I'm going to go back up to my document. I'm going to close by selecting the same icon. I click into the document and hit Enter a few times. So now I'm going to go back to the equation editor. I'm going to get rid of everything that I did before. So this time I want to do the same kind of thing with a square root. So I'm going to start off by typing square root. Then I'm going to do 5 bracket 3 plus 10. So again, I'm going to do Shift Enter, and it works fine. So equals, when I do a step here to simplify this, so I have square root, we're going to get 15 plus 10. Now when I do Shift Enter, it doesn't work. So again, use the arrow or your mouse to click out. It's much more forgiving to use the arrows, the cursors on the computer, than trying to click, because that ends up sometimes clicking on the outside. So I'm on the end of the row. I'm going to hit Shift Enter. So then we get equals square root of 25. Shift Enter, still not working. I hit my arrow once. I'm in the perfect spot. So I'm going to hit Shift Enter, and we get equals 5. And as you can see, now I have my work put in there. So in terms of the Shift Enter feature, if it's one line, Shift Enter will usually work no problem. We run into the issue when we're putting multiple lines in, and the key to success with getting a new line is ensuring it's at the end of the row, not in a denominator, not under a root sign. Also making sure that it's not in the middle of the expression.